Go look at his stats.
Bro, he would have been better.
Go look at his
had
stats.
Andrew Luck had all better offensive linemen. We're not having...
Go look at his stats for the last 3 years.
Because Andrew Luck hasn't even been playing.
He hasn't. Moncrief hasn't been playing.
Everyone's been trash on that offense.
Moncrief has not been playing, bro. I'm telling you.
But he's still talented.
Look at his stats.
I know. I've seen.
Look at his stats.
He's still talented.
And you actually called him trash on this very podcast.
The Colts were trash. He'll be better in a different scenario, and Blake Bortles will be throwing him the ball. Compared to
you don't even believe.
No, Jacksonville's a better offensive line than the Colts do. Don't play yourself. He needed to change the scenery, and the number 10 is an ugly receiver. It's an ugly receiver number. Receivers should stop wearing the number 10. I'm so serious. It pisses me off. It's like yellow has been scientifically proven or psychologically been proven to be the most irritating and annoying color. 10 is the most annoying color for a receiver for me. Not just because a certain Raiders receiver wears it and was trash last year. You can all guess what his name is. If you don't know, it's Seth Roberts. See? Name a receiver wearing number 10 who's great consistently. It doesn't exist. But anyway, Dez will be a great fit. Like in believe it or not, if he's willing to take a huge pay cut, I would say Atlanta. I would also say the Niners would be a perfect fit for him. They already have Marquise Goodwin. He got paid. You throw in the caliber of Dez Bryant, which it's funny because he said when asked about would he play for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, he was kind of like, it's kind of personal. There's a lot of history there. I don't know. It wouldn't feel right. But then
he's a very emotional dude.
He wants to play for a team in the NFC East just so he can get back at the Cowboys, but that makes no sense. But he could go to the Houston Texans. Shout out to DeAndre Hopkins, really just trying to recruit people. He might be the new baby Reggie because he actually landed Tyrann Mathieu. So he had Dez Bryant in a Texans jersey, and the Texans do play the Cowboys this year. And that'd be interesting. Dez Bryant on one side, Will Fuller in the slot, Braxton Miller, I guess, being open somehow.
Running fast downfield. Hopefully he can catch it.
Accelerating really fast and probably running a great curl route, but not getting the ball. And then, you just have one of the best receivers in the league in Nuck Thompson catching everything. So that would be dope to have. I think he has to be like a complimentary guaranteed. Kind of like what Jordy Nelson's doing with the Raiders. He's the number 2, but he's also kind of like a 1B. Like, he's not, like, Dez Bryant isn't a top 10 receiver anymore, but he's still top 15. Like, you can't just leave him by himself on some trash corner and think he's not going to go to work. So, yeah, I would definitely say there's teams out there for him.
Yeah, the next topic I wanted to talk about from this week is Saquon Barkley. There's been a lot of chatter a week from the NFL draft. Some reports came out that his camp said he would not go to Cleveland, which we already knew. We've already known that for a minute. But then others said he would go to Cleveland because he wants to win one for the land.
Cleveland rocks. Shout
and
out to the
essentially be the LeBron James of football. So,
I mean, he did go to Penn State. The last great Penn State running back was Larry Johnson. We don't talk about Kajana Carter. Taylor Rooks brought that up, by the way.
So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think Barkley wants to go to Cleveland? Do you think he should go to Cleveland?
I think he should. Not to give away too much of my mock draft, I think it will be the perfect fit. For him, it would also weaken other teams, like the Colts, who really need a running back, or the Giants, who really need a running back. This brain trust that the Browns has put together should really be thinking best available at every position and throwing guys and getting guys, not having, like, the I guess I won't bring this up because it might kill what you were going to talk about later. But
what? Self-control?
I mean, because now you're taking money out of my pocket now to feed you, and I'm kind of annoyed by it. But when it comes to the Browns, they have multiple draft options. but realistically, Saquon Barkley's the best player in the draft. And there's some rumors like, man, they could get Bradley Chubb and Saquon. That would be insane. Even though they already have a really good left defensive end. But Chubb, somebody compared him to, I think it was Von Miller. You said he's a combination between like Khalil Mack and himself. But I'm like, I don't know. But with the Browns, there's a lot can do. But I just hope they don't pull a Cleveland Browns and mess it up somehow. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say without ruining what you were probably.
No, you already ruined like 3 things, so it's all good.
No, the main one.
It's all good.
I'm pretty sure you want to say it, so I'm not going to say it.
It's all good. All right. The last thing I want to do before we get to our mock drafts is Roger Goodell was disposed in Colin Kaepernick's case this week. That means he was basically called to the stand to testify, correct?
Deposed, yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I think you should know about this is I read insights from Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, and basically what he was saying is if the courts rule in favor of Kaepernick, basically saying the NFL colluded to keep him out of the league, it could potentially end the collective bargaining agreement.
The ultimate breach of contract,
which
tampering, all that, because
which would be unprecedented for the league to all of a sudden not have a collective bargaining agreement.
Because that means an automatic work stoppage,
which would create a work stoppage, which would throw salary cap and contracts
the rookie
up in the
scale.
question, rookie scales, like insurance, everything, and then with the looming presidents of the Pacific Football League, the XFL, and the other, I think it's
American.
Yeah,
it's like not flag football, but yeah.
Plus the CFL and AFL that are already established. We could really be seeing the death of football if Kaepernick is found right,
or just the complete
plus the whole college football. The whole college basketball investigation, if you think that's not going to get to college football pretty soon, you're playing yourself.
Like Arian Foster said, everyone gets money. He's like, what are you going to do if everybody on Alabama says, yeah, I took money to play? If everyone says it everywhere, you're going to just suspend football? No. Because the little that these athletes do take, the NCAA and the NFL recently recently pays taxes, but for a while the NFL was a nonprofit not paying taxes at all. So there you go.
Yeah, and well, we might as well move straight into touchdown or turnover special mock draft edition. And basically, if you want to call in, ask us a question about our mock drafts, if you want to know where we think a player is going to go, if you want to just know who your team should take, give us a call. 323-900-0478. Again, it's 323-900-0478. It's the Touchdowns and Tangents show on the Good News radio station. But yeah, so basically Kenny and I, we have not seen each other's mock drafts. It's going to be our first time looking at each other's mock drafts.
I don't know. He probably could have looked up mine and peeked and cheated because he kept yelling at me yesterday to finish mine, even though he didn't finish his.
So you were peeking at mine too.
I wasn't.
You know what's funny is as I wasn't like looking where you were picking, but I just looked to see what wasn't filled, and we were like literally like going pick by pick. Like, I was like, really? Like I was on 23 and you were on like 22. Like I was like, oh shit! Like everything's lined up.
I dropped down to like the second round. I'm like, nah, I got to get a beat on this. So I don't like the synergy. I feel like he knows what I'm picking.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have my mock draft over to Kenneth right now, my first round, and he's gonna give what I have. He's gonna give his touchdowns and his turnovers from my mock draft, just looking at it first, fresh.
The first and second round, or just?
I just did just the first round.
I did the first and second round.
Yeah, I didn't get to finish the second round.
Wow, you are trash, bro. Now I feel like I just want to reel off all mine.
Well, let me see your computer.
There you go. Don't be going through extra tabs either.
I shouldn't type the letter P at the top.
on no man's computer did anyone ever type the letter P at the top. That is wild and just an invasion of privacy. Bro, like, how dare you? P or L. Just leave it.
All right.
But anyway.
You want to go first?
Yeah, so you picked with the first overall pick.
Don't read it off. Just give me takeaways. People can read it up once we publish it this weekend on Medium.
Okay, we're doing it like that. Like, I can't point out, like, interesting picks.
Yeah, but just tell me if they're a touchdown or a turnover.
Yeah.
All right, I got one.
I have one, and it's kind of... And by the way, we did this mock draft, like, there's no trades. Like,
yeah, this is straight
This
up.
is, like, straight up.
And the whole thought process was, how would you do it if you were the GM? If you were the head of the draft room, what would be your pick to make your team the best? So basically putting yourself in the perspective of each team. Not necessarily trying to predict what will happen, more so what we think should happen.
Yeah, I have a problem with your fourth overall pick.
Go for it.
So you have the Browns drafting Roquan Smith out of Georgia.
Yeah.
You know they already have a starting middle linebacker, right?
You know they run a 3-4 defense and they need more linebackers. And
no, they switched to a 4-3.
No, here's my
they switched to a 4-3 once Garrett got there.
Here's my thinking about it, right? So when you look at the Cleveland Browns roster, they've invested on every single level of their defense except for really the linebackers this past offseason. So why not take the top linebacker in the draft, one of the most error-free prospects,
one of the cleanest,
safe prospects in the draft. The other option for me was Bradley Chubb. The reason why I didn't go with Bradley Chubb is I feel like pass rushers you can find later, they have more second-round picks. You're going to be able to find one that slides into the second round versus Roquan is probably by far has the least amount of cons of arguably any prospect in this draft, especially at the linebacker position. So,
yeah, I just still don't, because I mean they have Christian Kirksey who I think he almost led the league in tackles last year. So they have linebackers. I mean, Jarrell Peppers, honestly, they say in Cleveland the number 22 is cursed and he should probably switch numbers.
And the other one I was going to say was either Minka or Derwin James. So those were like the four people I was considering at the
I'm glad
four.
you didn't go Derwin to 4 because they already have Jabril.
Yeah, but there's a lot of reports that Jabril's already falling out of favor, that he might get benched. So,
because no coach that he's ever had has actually let him play one position. Gotcha.
All right, I got one.
Okay, go for it.
At number 15, this is the first one that jumps out at me. You have the Arizona Cardinals selecting DJ Moore out of Maryland.
That's perfect.
I'm going to say that's a turnover. Not a knock on him, but I just don't feel... I feel like this receiver class... I could honestly see only one receiver going in the first round. Calvin Ridley.
And where do I have Calvin
and
Ridley?
And even that's a stretch.
Where do I have Calvin Ridley going?
I don't even see it. Calvin Ridley you have going to the Bills at number 12.
That's if they don't trade anybody. But
which I disagree with because I think they would take a quarterback.
I just don't.
You just didn't want them to take Lamar, which is why.
I don't want any...
Call a spade a spade.
We've seen how black quarterbacks get treated in Buffalo.
No, but at number 12, Baker Mayfield's still on the board.
I don't trust Baker Mayfield. I'm not sold on him at all. That's why I didn't put him on there. I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield.
You don't have him in the first round at all.
Nope. But I do have him going to a really great situation. But I don't have him.
You have Lamar in the second round. I should fight you.
Bro, let's be honest.
You have Lamar to the Browns.
That'd be perfect. Who's the quarterback right now? Tyrod Taylor. Who's an even better version of Tyrod Taylor? Potentially Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, man. I think
you put him with Saquon
I think
Barkley?
That's a good situation, but
imagine that though.
It's a good situation, but I really think Lamar Jackson's going to go in the first round.
He could be better than Andy Dalton.
I don't think he's going to slide past the Patriots, the Bills.
I would cry.
The Bengals.
No, they're not taking a quarterback to replace Andy Dalton.
They might. If
You're gonna trade
They're
Andy
gonna
Dalton?